years. I am writing this long tale during my honeymoon while feeling very cathartic, typing it all out now.
My husband is actually more excited about this story than he is about our delicious tropical resort drinks.
This is a throwaway account because I do not have a personal Reddit profile for my own use.
My husband is a Reddit fanatic who did not want this story associated with his main account profile.
He insisted that since it is my family, I should have the honor of posting this story.
I am not a lawyer, but I do not give permission for this to be reposted anywhere.
It is necessary to give some background to explain how this behavior reached this level of extreme intensity.
Ever since I could remember, my parents loved my sister much more than they ever loved me.
If I accused her of anything, they would never believe me, even if there was undeniable proof.
My birthday cake always had to be the specific flavor that my sister wanted for her own preference. My parents always denied, knowing that I did not like that particular type of cake for birthdays.
They always bought her significantly more items than they bought for me during our entire childhood years. We always went exactly where she wanted, even if the event was supposed to be about me.
My sister grew up incredibly spoiled and used me as a physical and emotional punching bag daily.
Things got much worse when we were young teens, and she suddenly found herself with no friends.
I do not know if her friends moved away, or if they ditched her for being mean.
My parents loved to boast about her achievements while constantly bringing up all of my personal flaws.
I only knew she had no friends because I noticed her no longer walking around with people.
I was decently popular, and my sister decided she needed to take me down at all times.
She started accusing me and my friends of things until my parents stopped allowing me out anywhere.
They asked why I wanted to leave them and why I could not enjoy simple family time.
My extended family saved me from complete isolation because I got along well with all my cousins.
I told my cousins I was not allowed to go anywhere because my sister had no friends.
I was grounded for a month for lying, even though I had nowhere to go anyway then.
After that incident, they allowed me some leeway, so the punishment was definitely worth the overall result.
My sister changed schools because the humiliation of the extended family knowing her social status was bad.
My parents immediately obliged her request, even though it cost them much more money for the commute.
I never called friends over because my parents were awful hosts, or my sister accused them stealing.
I became very close to my cousins, since my parents never dared treat family members that way.
Then I got my first boyfriend, and I did not want to bring him home at all.
He found me and said my sister was flirting with him while wearing very skimpy clothing today.
She was batting her eyelashes and telling him how bad I was and how good she was.
My sister told my parents a different tale, claiming my boyfriend tried to flirt with her instead.
Naturally, my parents believed her story immediately, without even asking for my side of the actual situation. I was very resentful and moody, and I hated my sister as much as she hated me.
My parents and sister were overweight, but I was skinny because punishment often included no snacks.
My parents prohibited me from dating him, and eventually that relationship ended because it was too hard.
I got another boyfriend, but my sister accused him of flirting when he refused her advances again.
They decided I was incapable of making good choices and kept picking bad boyfriends for myself regularly.
I refused to have relationships in high school to avoid the drama with my parents and sister.
My sister brought one boyfriend home, and my parents spent every second telling me how great he was.
He stopped showing up, and suddenly he was a conniving bastard who had tricked my poor sister.
Her curfews were much better than mine, and she was free to go anywhere at any time. When I reached her age, they denied, saying I would get the same treatment as she did.
My sister was accepted into a college with bad grades, but my parents celebrated with much fanfare.
I got good grades, but my parents refused to celebrate because they claimed it was expected behavior.
I was relieved she was going away to college, even if my life did not get easier.
She would come home and claim items were missing from her room just to make me miserable.
Mom said they had no money for my college because they were paying for my older sister.
She expected me to throw a tantrum, but I simply said, okay, and remained completely calm instead.
I had been preparing for college for a long time because it was my only true freedom.
I worked my ass off and earned a full scholarship to a decent college for my education.
I posted my achievement on social media immediately, so my parents could not forbid me from going.
Initially, they were proud and boasting about it until my sister eventually got to their biased minds.
College was my savior, and I started being truly happy for the first time in my life.
My sister stopped going to college and moved back home to work at my mother's same company.
I met my husband around this time, and he is the type of person who claps back. I am meek and a doormat, but my husband loves to resolve drama and never forgets slights.
We decided to spend our wedding budget on a dream honeymoon trip to Europe for ourselves instead.
We sent out engagement announcements and a save the date for our wedding in my small hometown. My husband bought a high-quality recorder to capture everything during his first meeting with my difficult family.
He went alone and excited to meet them, coming back later looking absolutely euphoric about the meeting. He told me they sat him down and made a ridiculous demand regarding our upcoming wedding ceremony.
They wanted my sister to walk down the aisle in a wedding dress before me that day. My vengeful husband decided to string them along and act like he was considering their insane proposal.
We had a blast thinking up ways to screw them over for trying to ruin our wedding.
His level-headed brother warned us that some of our more outlandish ideas could get us sued later.
We settled on a plan to act like we agreed, but then hire security to stop her.
He told them he would help them do it to avoid family falling apart before the wedding.
My sister literally started skipping with joy when she thought she was getting her way that day.
We used their own words against them, claiming I was distrustful and liked to check his phone.
It was imperative that nothing of this plan was ever put in writing for any future discussion.
My parents wanted me to wear a hideous dress that was definitely not my style at all.
We began months of deception where my parents and sister thought they were successfully tricking us both.
We would choose the lowest priced options and then trick my parents into paying for the best.
My sister demanded my parents pay for the best options after my husband sighed about the cost.
The same tactic was used with the photographer and the flowers to get exactly what we wanted.
My sister did try to flirt with him, but he acted conflicted to maintain the ongoing deception.
We called it back pay for emotional damages from my parents after years of their terrible, unfair treatment.
My husband was enjoying the whole tricking process more than he was planning our actual wedding ceremony.
The plan was to wait until everyone was seated before my sister would arrive and walk down.
My husband showed them leftover fabric from my dress alterations as proof he had ruined my dress.
We kept our actual security hidden at first, while guests and my parents arrived at the venue.
Only after my parents sat down did we bring out the security guy who looked like a bodyguard.
Soon the time arrived, and my dad stood at the entrance as if he were waiting me.
The bridal song started playing, the doors opened, and I walked in, catching my dad by surprise.
My dad looked aghast and his phone rang, and he left me there with a mumbled excuse immediately.
I lied in a tearful voice, saying he told me it was not supposed to be me.
A friend loudly asked what he meant and ran off to create hell with the security guard.
What did he mean?
At this point, my mom also left the ceremony, leaving me standing alone in front of everyone. My husband's dad quickly ran over and took my arm, helping me walk down the aisle together.
When I reached my husband, all was well, and we got married without any further hitches today.
Outside, my sister had arrived in a wedding dress, but the security refused to let her in.
My dad tried threatening him with the police, but the security guard stood his ground as requested.
My sister was scream-crying and sat on the floor, kicking her legs like a spoiled young child.